Well, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Kendra here, and today we're going to talk about a subject that is a little bit off the grid, something a little different from what I spoke about in some of my other videos in dealing with your health. I know in my last video we talked about the part 2 of knocking down cholesterol, but in this video we're going to talk more about urgent care, the ED, which is the emergency department, also known as the ER, and we're going to talk about primary care. Now, the reason why I chose this topic is because I've been getting a lot of questions about this in the office. Like, what is the purpose of urgent care? And I thought when they decided to put up these urgent care facilities, I thought that a lot of people understood what urgent care was all about, okay? But from what I'm hearing, people just don't know what the purpose of an urgent care facility, why did they start building these facilities? So today we're going to dive into that. I'm going to talk about the urgent care facilities, what they are there for, the emergency room, and what the purpose of having primary care is all about. Okay, so without further ado, let's get to it. Okay guys, so whenever you're speaking in terms of primary care, that primary care is a portfolio. The great thing about primary care is that our whole goal is to prevent things. It's preventative treatment, okay? So we like to, insurance companies love us, all right, because we are trying to prevent you from going to the emergency room. We are trying to prevent you from having diseases that may develop later on in life. We're trying to prevent these things from happening. By you seeing a regular primary care doctor, this doctor can get to know you. They get to know your anatomic makeup, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what's your history, what's your childhood history. All this stuff is revealed in primary care. Okay, so what I like to say, primary care is like a portfolio. They keep a record of everything that you've ever had done, from shot records to surgeries to things that they've referred you for, treatment plans, things of that nature, whatever, so on and so forth. So I always advise people to always get a primary care doctor. Whether you have insurance or whether you don't have insurance, it does not matter. If you don't have insurance, you would be considered private pay, okay? If you have insurance, then you would be considered someone who uses insurance to file claims, okay? So just understand, with private pay patients, they have to pay for everything out of pocket. It doesn't mean that they get a lesser office visit. It just means that everything that they pay for is out of pocket, okay? Yes. So urgent care was put into place to relieve the emergency room, okay? People were going to the emergency room for things that were not an emergency, things that were not deemed as emergency situations. They were going to the emergency room, okay? So they came up with urgent care to kind of deal with those minor issues that wouldn't be considered a true emergency. Okay, for instance, if let's say you have a child and your child runs track, and on the track field they tried to drop the hurdle and fell and broke their leg. This is something that you could take easily to urgent care, okay? Because some urgent cares, they have x-rays, they have x-ray machines. They can take an x-ray image of the foot or the arm or whatever limb that was broken, see the images, go ahead and put it in a cast or bandage it up and refer you to the orthopedic doctor. Another thing that could go to urgent care is maybe the flu. Maybe you woke up that morning and you were running a high temperature, you've been coughing, stuffy nose, fever, the whole nine, and you feel like maybe you have the flu, or you feel like you have some upper respiratory infection, maybe you have bronchitis or something like that. That can go to urgent care. You don't need to go to the emergency room for something like that, okay? Now, I'm going to share with you something that just recently happened to me. About 2 weeks ago, I was outside and I was taking down my Christmas decorations on the outside of my house, okay? I don't know why I didn't think to do this, but because I wasn't doing the lawn or anything like that, I'm just taking down Christmas decorations. And so as I was climbing the ladder to take down the reef that was on the outside of the house, a piece of masonry, like, you know, masonry like that goes in between the bricks when you're stacking bricks, the masonry that the bricks together, a piece of masonry fell in my eye. And when the masonry got in my eye, I could not see. I could not see for nothing. And I went in the house and I tried to irrigate my eye. I tried to rinse my eye out. I did everything I could possibly think of that I had been taught in school to do to get this masonry out of my eye. Well, as a result of it, I ended up driving myself to urgent care. Now, I'm going to say this right now off the rip. I'm going to say this. Anything that deals with the eye, you need to go to the emergency room. Don't even think about going to urgent care. You need to go to the emergency room. If you cannot see, you need to call someone to your house to drive you to the nearest emergency room. Anything that deals with your eye, okay? Because one thing you don't want to do is lose your vision. And what I learned from this, which was really different from what I had been taught in school, they are not equipped to deal with eye situations. Anything that deals with the eye, the urgent care facilities are not equipped for that. They don't have the machines that's used. Those doctors are not trained to do that. So that is not the place you need to go when you're talking about an eye injury, okay? You need to go to the emergency room. So long or short, what ended up happening was I had to call a friend of mine and have them drive me to the nearest emergency room. And from there, I was further treated and this and all. Turns out that I ended up having a very bad corneal abrasion from this piece of masonry that got stuck in my eye. The thing about corneal abrasions, you want to make sure, if you don't know specifically what is in your eye, if you don't know what has fallen in your eye, or if it's a piece of metal, or whether it is dirt, or if you have no idea what is in your eye, you need to go to the emergency room. Because if it's a piece of metal that has gotten trapped or stuck in your eye, that can cause blindness. And you don't want to be messing around somewhere like urgent care when you need to be at an emergency room. So I would always advise someone to just go straight to the emergency room for that. Okay, they are not equipped to deal with eye injuries. All right, they are also not really equipped to deal with heart injuries. Okay, so if you are too far, if you start having chest pain and it's feeling like something heaviness is on your chest, and this is true chest pain, and this is possibly a heart attack, the only thing that urgent care can really do is stabilize you until EMS gets there to take you to the hospital. Because whenever you're having true chest pain, you need to be in a hospital setting. You do not need to be in urgent care. If you are right down the street from an emergency room and you can go directly to the ER, go to the ER. But if you're too far from the emergency room and you feel like you're about to die, you go to urgent care, let them stabilize you. They call EMS, either life flight you or EMS will drive you to the nearest emergency room. That's how I would recommend you do if you have chest pain. But off the rip, anybody that's having chest pain need to be in the emergency room. Chest pain, shortness of breath, anything that's a life-threatening emergency, you need to be in the emergency room. You do not need to be in urgent care. Remember that urgent care is for minor injuries, okay? The other big thing about, I want to clear with urgent care is not meant to take the place of primary care, okay? I'm seeing a lot of people don't have primary care doctors, and every time they get sick, they run down to urgent care. One person I knew had never been seen in primary care, never had a primary care doctor in their life. They've been treated all their life by going through the emergency room. And then when they start putting up urgent care facilities, they just start going to urgent care. Never had a portfolio or anything that they have been doing in primary care. Guys, you need to have a primary care doctor. A primary care doctor can better treat you. Urgent care facilities cannot better treat you. They have to learn your allergies. They have to learn what meds work for you. They have to learn so many different things, okay? Another good thing to keep in mind is that as you get older, you tend to develop the issues that's in their family line, okay? So if your family has heart disease as you get older, your chances of developing heart disease goes up. If hypertension runs in your family, your chances as you get older, your chances of developing hypertension goes up. If diabetes, same thing, so on and so forth. They just, as you get older, your chances of whatever runs in your family, whether it's cancer, hypertension, diabetes, whatever, it goes up as you get older, okay? The great thing about primary care is when we diagnose you, let's say for instance, hypertension. Let's say you are diagnosed with hypertension. We'll come up with a treatment plan and probably start you on some of the first line drugs that are used for hypertension. Once we start you on those meds, we kind of look to see if you respond to the meds. If you respond to those meds, then that's fine. We keep you on those meds. But let's say you don't respond to those meds. Let's say your blood pressure continues to stay elevated, even though we've tried you on many of our first line drugs that we use for hypertension. Let's say your blood pressure tends to go up or it still stays high. So I may try maybe 2 different drugs on you. If you don't respond to those 2 drugs, then I'm going to refer you out. Now you're saying, okay, why are you referring me out? So anytime something cannot be treated in primary care, you are to be referred. When you are referred, you're referred to the specialist. Now, some of you may know what I'm saying when I talk about this, but there is a great number of people who do not understand why they are being referred to a specialist. I have gotten this multiple times. I've had people tell me over and over and over, why are you referring me to a specialist? Why are you referring me to a specialist? They have no idea, clueless as to why you're being referred to a specialist. Okay, well, the reason why you're being referred to a specialist is it's either out of the scope of the primary care doctor's hands, it's either out of their hands, or 2, the treatment plans that they have come up with not responding to, so now they are referring you to the person who specializes in this. That means that their job is to stabilize you and get you control, okay? And that could be diabetes. The specialist for diabetes would be the endocrinologist. The endocrinologist is the one who specializes in diabetes and a slew of other things that they do to get blood sugars controlled. They would try you out on different medicines. Once you are stabilized, once they get you control, all that information goes back to primary care, and then the doctor that has you in primary care continues that regime. That's how it works. That's why you're being referred out. Everything cannot be done in primary care. Understand that, okay? I need people to really understand that everything cannot be done in primary care. Where this problem comes into play is when people are on fixed incomes, when people cannot afford to pay co-payments for specialists, because a specialist copay is normally more than primary care. You may pay $20, maybe your insurance company may only ask for $20 or $25, maybe $30 for your copayment in primary care. But if you go to the specialist, your copayment may be $40, okay? And a lot of times people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with having to pay those higher copays because they were referred to a specialist. But what you have to understand is, first of all, your primary care doctor is only going to refer you out if it's absolutely necessary. That's the reason why you have to get the referral. Because they don't want, the insurance, when I say they, I'm talking about the insurance company, they don't want you making the decision that you need a specialist when it may be something that could be treated in primary care and you don't need a specialist, because the specialist is more expensive and the insurance companies don't want to pay the higher bill. They rather pay a primary care doctor because they can bill for less money. So that's why a referral is needed. If anybody ever want to know, why do I need a referral? Why do I need a, that's why you need a referral, because they want a trained provider to determine whether or not a specialist is needed before you go seeing a specialist. They don't want to pay for a specialist and it wasn't needed because you made the decision to go see a specialist. So just understand that if your doctor refers you to a specialist, you're being referred to the specialist because either the treatment plan that they came up with you're not responding to, it's not working for you, or it's something that's out of their scope of practice. Okay. So guys, I hope this has helped you guys have a better understanding of what urgent care is for and why you go to the emergency room and why you need primary care and why you need to go to a specialist. I hope I have cleared this up. I was asked to do a video like this because I had some people just did not understand what the purpose for all this was, So I just hope that I was able to really bring some light, shed some light on this topic so people can really understand what this is for. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment box below. I'll be glad to answer any questions. I finally figured out Anybody who's been watching my videos probably saw that my comment section was turned off. I did not turn the comment section off, guys. My settings were not set right with YouTube, and so I had no idea. It's this thing they got going on with kids now, watching your videos. They don't allow you to have comments if it's a video that deals with children. And I was just putting up videos. I wasn't really, I didn't notice that the comment section was turned off. Well, YouTube would turn off the comment section if you don't specify what your video, if it's for children or not for children or made for kids or whatever. But I finally figured it out and I fixed that problem. So now you're able to leave comments. If anybody has a comment that you want to leave in the comment section, please feel free to do so. You can ask me any questions. I don't mind. We'll answer those questions as soon as possible because I just go through each of my videos and just look, see if anybody left any comments. YouTube normally lets me know, but sometimes it doesn't notify me of anything, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. But if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up so it can circulate through YouTube. And guys, do share my videos with your friends and family. And until the next video, I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.